Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have review of the new Huawei FreeLace Pro 2. Let's get started. These are wireless headphones from Huawei, although they are not called fully wireless headphones due to the fact that they are still connected to each other by a headband. We'll look at their design in a moment, but this is the second generation of this edition, which obviously goes for extremely high audio quality. And on screen, you are seeing the launch price of these headphones with their respective conversion to dollars, although remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. Join me to know absolutely everything about these headphones that can become an attractive proposition, especially for athletes. As they all say, this is a headset that has a silicone headband that is quite soft to the touch, although I suspect it's going to collect a lot of dust with use. That will depend on the type of user you are, but it comes attached as well with an area that feels great in the hand. It seems to be made of an aluminum alloy, as Huawei surely uses in other devices. So it's very nice, this area. And remember that in the area where the controls are, we're going to be able to disconnect to find the USB-C port, which is going to serve you to directly charge the headphones with your cell phone. So that gives you a lot more versatility because you don't need a charger, but you just do this action and that's it. You can start the charging process. On the right side of this module, we will find a switch to have the headphones on or off. Although either way, the headphones have magnetic absorption, and when they are glued together, they will go into a standby mode, and when they are detached, they immediately start their connection. So we also found a good mechanism. The headphones in total weigh in at 34.5 grams, but obviously when they're hanging around your neck, they're going to feel extremely light. They are IP55 certified, and as I said, they are very focused on athletes because when they are hanging around your neck, it is very difficult for them to fall out. In addition, as you can see, in a kind of ear or fins that will facilitate a better grip at the time of being in your ears. And by the way, even though they don't have a sensor to detect when you put on and take off the headphones, actually, since they have this magnetic absorption, as soon as you take off the headphones, they are going to stick, and that will cause your content to stop. So I think it's a very good proposition, but yes, very specific. Not all users will be attracted to this format, but it's very interesting how Huawei launches a tremendous variety of accessories to please virtually every taste. And speaking of taste, this is the black color edition, but a green edition will also be available, which I personally find more appealing. And it's also going to support a long touch. In this case, for 2 seconds, it's going to initiate a Bluetooth pairing mode, or you could also get to reject an incoming call. And finally, we have the volume buttons, which obviously, as the name suggests, will allow us to modify this parameter of our audio. But if we press and hold either of these two buttons, we can also call our phone's voice assistant. And by the way, you can also press and hold the function button for 10 seconds if you want to reset the headphones to clear the entire list of connected devices and make them as good as new. And in this case, it is curious that the noise control is moved directly to the left earphone. So in this hearing aid, we will find a touch panel. So by holding down on this earpiece, we're going to be able to switch between ambient mode or noise cancellation mode, or simply turn off any of these settings. And now let me tell you about the sound quality that these headphones are able to offer. Honestly, I was surprised by the power of the bass frequencies specifically. For such compact headphones, I am surprised that they sound so powerful. Although at the same time, I feel that at times those bass frequencies could even overshadow the high frequencies. But fortunately, it comes with an equalizer through their app that has presets, or you can create your own preset to have an equalization specifically how you like it. Personally, in no pair of headphones do I use the EQ with emphasis on the treble. But in these headphones, I did find it necessary to activate that preset. And with this preset activated, I have a very good experience because the bass frequencies no longer overshadow the treble frequencies. And obviously the mid frequencies are there complementing the whole sound. I feel like the experience is really good in sound as long as you adjust this preset, because otherwise I feel it sounds too low. But you know, this also depends on your taste. So if you enjoy bass frequencies a lot, it's really impressive the power of bass frequencies that this little device can give. In fact, for the more technical, these headphones are capable of projecting sound from 15 Hz. I think that's why it gets to have such a low end feel, and it can go up to 40 kilohertz, so it goes out of this standard of 20 to 20, having a much broader spectrum of these frequencies. Also, it's a dual diaphragm that the 10.8 millimeter headphones have. It's a pretty big diaphragm for hearing aids this small, and that's also why I think it's going to be able to project this very powerful low frequency. The sound seems to me to be a very good thing. And also, if you're one of those who are very picky about the definition or the resolution of your audio, you should know that they support high-res wirelessly with various codecs as well. For starters, we have the basics SBC and AAC, but these headphones go further and also support the LDAC codec and also the L2HC codec, which is a Huawei proprietary codec. If you have a Huawei cell phone, you're going to be able to enjoy that higher resolution audio experience. And if you don't have a Huawei phone, you should check if your phone supports the LDAC codec to support this ultra high resolution audio. But either way, even without using those codecs, I feel it sounds great. However, for the more demanding ones who may get to notice these differences, it will definitely give them that plus they need in terms of audio definition. In addition, they have noise cancellation that is excellent. I was really surprised at the level of noise cancellation they achieve. Even if you have someone nearby listening to music, you just put the headphones on and you will notice a difference when the cancellation is off and when you turn it on. Even those little noises that can be very difficult to cancel. The truth is that the result is amazing. They have very good noise cancellation that can also be adaptive. So, if you're in a very noisy environment, you can select through the app that you want to have much greater noise cancellation. And if you're in an environment where maybe you need very low cancellation, you can turn that on as well. In addition to the attention mode that you can enjoy so that you're listening to music while also listening to what's going on around you as well. The headphones also have many microphones, some dedicated to noise cancellation and others focused on capturing audio. So remember that by having control units in this part close to your neck, the audio pickup will be very direct. Unlike other headphones that have the microphone a little further away from your mouth, so I think that for calls it will also be a much more useful or much more direct alternative where not so much noise is going to come through. And they also have noise cancellation with artificial intelligence to detect your voice as much as possible and avoid external noise. Below you are going to listen to an audio recorded with this microphone in a completely silent environment.
Esta es una prueba de audio grabada utilizando los micrófonos integrados de estos audífonos llamados Huawei FreeLace Pro 2.
Next, you are going to listen again to an audio captured with this microphone, but now in a much noisier environment to notice if they are able to reduce all that noise and our voice is still heard well.
Esta es nuestra segunda prueba de audio captada con los micrófonos de estos audífonos. Estoy hablando a un nivel regular en un entorno muy ruidoso. Voy a hablar un poco más fuerte para ver si llega a haber alguna diferencia.
They definitely give us considerably good audio pickup, so for calls and video calls you're going to have good quality. Now let me tell you all about the battery life. Although in this case, Huawei has reported different figures due to the fact that the headphones have different modes. For example, you can use the headphones without noise cancellation and without prioritizing the audio resolution. In that environment, you would have the most extended battery life reaching 25 hours at most. This will obviously vary depending on the volume at which you listen to your music, but with an intermediate setting, that would be the figure. If you use noise cancellation but are not yet using high-res mode, you could still get 12.5 hours of battery life. On the other hand, if you use high-res audio, giving priority to this setting, still without noise cancellation turned on, would give you about 15 hours. And finally, the setting in which you would have a higher power consumption would be having both noise cancellation and sound quality priority enabled. And with this, Huawei promises about 10 hours of battery life, which is a pretty good battery anyway, and consider that you can also easily put them on charge with the USB-C connector. In addition, Huawei offers you fast charging. So, with 5 minutes that you put them on charge, Huawei promises you to recover enough battery to give you 5 hours of playback. So, I think the battery is going to be something that you're definitely not going to suffer from. And also, if you consider the charging time from 0 to 100, it's a positive thing because they charge in an hour. So, the experience both in battery and charging is positive. Now let's talk about the connection of these headphones. To begin with, I should tell you that obviously if you have a Huawei cell phone, an immediate connection is going to appear through a pop-up window, and that happens with virtually all Huawei of recent models. You can also use the USB-C connection to initiate this pairing process with Huawei phones. And if you don't have Huawei phones, obviously you can also connect because they have Bluetooth 5.3. However, if your phone is not Huawei, the pairing process is going to be a little bit longer. You simply have to go to the Bluetooth settings, the list of devices, and select it. It is not overly complex, but obviously with Huawei cell phones, the connection and pairing will be very simple. In fact, if you have a Huawei cell phone, you also have the nice advantage that you can connect a pair of headphones to it. So if you want to listen to the same thing with your partner or watch a movie perhaps, you can both have the two headphones and still have a very good experience. These hearing aids in fact can also be connected to multiple devices and intelligently swap between them. So I think on all parameters they're very good headphones. Obviously they're not going to have Google Fast Pair. So that's why I'm telling you that the connection to other Android devices is not overly simple, although obviously it can be achieved, but it does have Microsoft Swift Pair. So if you enable pairing mode and you're near a Windows computer, it does pop up the message to initiate easy pairing, and that, truth be told, is an interesting plus. And if you have a Huawei cell phone, there are even more advantages since they also work a dynamic latency mode. So intelligently, the cell phone is able to know if you started a game to activate the low latency mode, or if you are in some other environments where latency is not so important, it will not give it so much priority. This is the best experience, but if you don't have a Huawei, you're also going to have low latency mode available, but you have to turn it on manually. So, let's listen to some latency tests. First with a Huawei cell phone and then with a cell phone of another brand activating the low latency mode.
Welcome to Battle Royale, the match.
You could confirm on a Huawei device the latency is very low. And on other devices it may be variable. On iPhone it does have a switch to activate this low latency mode. I tried to connect it with an Oppo device, specifically the Oppo Find N3. It did not connect properly, I don't know what happened here. But with other Android devices I have been able to make the connection. So, I'm pleased that it does manage to achieve a very low latency level, which could be useful for gaming, especially if you have a Huawei device. Finally, let's take a quick look at the application, although there are things I already mentioned. As you notice, we have there the battery percentage that we still have in the hearing aids. We can also manage the devices that we have connected. In this case, we could set which is our preferred device to give priority to connect to it. And we are also going to find the noise control, where we can enable noise cancellation with different intensities or settings to select the one we like the most, or also the attention mode, or definitely disable it. Then we will find the sound effects, which is the equalization. As I had already mentioned, we have some presets. I prefer to use treble amplification to have a better experience from my point of view, but we can also select that we want to add a specific equalization. We have a 10-band equalizer to be exact. So yes, we can have a very good level of customization for the type of sound that we enjoy. Then we will find the gestures, so you can disable some gestures directly on the touch panel of the headset, or we can also select to have no action at all. And in the settings of the headphones, we will find if we want to use it for calls, also the dynamic latency mode, and in some devices will also appear the volume synchronization with the phone and the HD codec you want to use. Remember that these headphones are also capable of receiving software updates, so they could also change some functions in the future. And with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this content and got to know these headphones in depth. If you liked the video, you know you can tell us about it, and we'll see you next time.